A mindset that's plaguing young black women today is the fact that they prefer toxic attention over wholesome attention. Just look at both of these pictures right quick. You see how both of these women, though they're both from the same nation of people, our community, that they're both from two different time periods. In the older time period, the sisters were very dignified and classy in the way they presented themselves to the public. You see the way they present themselves now is very ratchet and not classy at all. And I got a whole video on my channel dedicated to the way a lot of sisters, a lot of women in general, dress these days. But that is one facet of what I'm talking about in this video right now. I've noticed that in addition to the lewd clothing, you see a lot of lewd behavior and a lot of just vulgar, disgusting talk coming from our sisters these days. Of course, not all of them, but a lot of them. It's like, I hear a lot of girls these days who every other word they say is the F word or MF, and they talking about their sexual desires all bold and vulgar and just vivid for everybody and they mama to hear them and stuff, right? I'm like, man, what husband would want their wife out there talking like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the things I've heard young women say over the years, I wouldn't even dare to repeat on camera, because it's just like, man, like, I wouldn't even feel comfortable repeating this stuff. And yet you got young women out here these days who are supposed to be poised and dignified and classy and respectable, out here talking just as bad as some of these dudes be out here. Have ye no shame? Remember, for instance, on a couple of Kevin Samuels shows on YouTube, like there was a couple of sisters that called in. There was one sister in particular that I recall. She called up in there asking Kevin Samuels how much her V word is worth, right? And he was like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, he's like, how much is my such and such worth, right? And she just, like I said, no poise, no shame, no humility, no class, no dignity, nothing. Just how much is it worth, right? Like, man, so that's where you calculate your worth at, young sister? Like, between your legs is where you calculate your worth. So you don't care about your mind, like any talent or skills that you might have. You don't care about the fact that you might be able to sing or that you could possibly learn how to play the piano. Like, I mean, there's so much more to life than what you can do for your man in the bedroom. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna call on this public show where there are millions of people tuning in that you know is gonna probably flame you up and call you a tramp hoe, and you're letting them just hear you talk like this. Like, you're showing them this ratchet side of yourself. The world holds our community to a much higher standard of like behavior and how we conduct ourselves out here, for spiritual reasons that I'm not gonna quite get into, but it's a very biblical spiritual element as to why this world views us the way that it does. It's like Caucasus women or Latino women or Asian women, they can be whorish and trampy and act like harlots, and the world would just call it being sexually adventurous. But when black women act like that, then it's seen as, ooh, that's unattractive, that's a turn off, or she ain't being classy, or she being ratchet and all that type of stuff. Hispanic woman out there yelling and cussing and speaking Spanish and being ratchet and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's seen as hot. You know what I'm saying? They calling her hot for doing all that stuff. You know, it's spicy when a Latino woman do it, but when a black woman act a certain way, it's seen as, like I said, a huge turn off and all that type of stuff. Like I said, spiritual reasons behind that, though. because our people are supposed to be the moral standard of the world. That's what we're supposed to be, but we don't want to be, even though that's what the Most High is calling us to be. And to be honest, I really would like to see that come to pass. I'm tired of the image of black women being such a base level, it seemed like the image has just been so crucified and brought so low down to the ground. And I want to see our sisters become the standard of purity and morality and beauty and womanhood that they were meant to be. But that will not happen until sisters as a whole realize that toxic attention is not worth more than wholesome attention. Until sisters begin to seek wholesome attention over toxic attention, their image will unfortunately continue to be debased by this world. It's a sad reality, but a sense of people got to get it together. I'm Elijah Reich. You can subscribe to this channel, or you can unsubscribe. You can like this video, or you can dislike it, share, and comment. With that, I'll say peace.